Hi, Ms. Walters class. I'm going to show you how bees get put into hives once, if we order them through the mail, which is what we did here. I got my tools here, got all the boxes and everything, and we'll be showing you how to do this. Assembling the hive. Right now it's obviously empty, there's no bees in it. We'll put the bees in a few minutes. So this is a board that goes in the bottom. It's called a bottom board. And then on top of that goes the box. This is called a deep super because there are 3 different sizes: deep, medium, and small. This allows the bees a place to lay their eggs and store their pollen and a little bit of honey, but the extra honey boxes are actually on top. So there's a hole in the front so they can get in. So that goes next. Then we're going to put this in here. This normally doesn't go in here, but this is just a little spacer because you got to feed the bees because there's no pollen or flowers or honey out there, nectar. So this is actually sugar water, and that's what they're going to live on for the next few days because it only got to be 50 degrees here for the first time since January, and they need to eat something, otherwise they'll starve really quickly. There's another little hole there. This is going to go on top. Once the bees are in, I'm going to just put a couple little holes in them so they can get at the sugar water. This is called the top board. That goes on top, and then the outer cover, and then there's usually a stick that goes like that. Okay. So this is what one of the boxes looks like. You can see all the bees inside there. That's the top. That can is the can with the feed so that when they get transported. And that thing right there is holding onto the queen cage, which is just right inside there. So I'm going to go ahead and put it into the first box, and then we'll do the other ones too.
Go.
Okay, I'm ready to go. We'll do a little smoke just to keep the bees happy. And in the smoker here is some sumac because that keeps them quiet too. Just get that started. Now we're ready to smoke the bees. First I'm going to take the can out. Shake the bees to the bottom. Sometimes a little hard to grab with the gloves on. So we'll take the queen cage out, cover that up. This is still half full. You see a few bees on there. It's got 1 or 2 holes in it, and that's going to go into the hive. Well, maybe not because the box is too short. But so the rest of the bees are in here. And that right there inside the cage. See the queen? She makes a pheromone so that all these other bees are really nice and calm even though they're flying around. That white stuff is sugar, and I'm going to actually put a hole in the sugar so the bees are going to, once we're inside the hive there, they're going to try to get the queen out and eat their way through it and release her, and it takes 2-3 days because this queen didn't come from this hive and she's only had 2 or 3 days to let the pheromones of smell make all the other bees inside there realize that she's a good queen and she's going to be their queen. So I'll take the sugar. Here. You see the sugar there? There's a little cork in here, so they can't get her out too early. I just have a screw. That's the cork. That gets degrades, biodegradable. And I'm going to take and put the screw in here and get some of the sugar out just so the bees have a little bit easier time getting her out. And that's going to happen over the next 2-3 days. So in 2-3 days, I'm going to come back and make sure the queen's out of here. We don't want her to come out too fast. And if she's still stuck in there, then I'll just release her. because she's going to have, the hive's going to know what she smells like then. Okay, so now I've put a hole about that far through. She has to eat a little bit. The other bees are going to come in and eat that sugar away there, and she's going to be released in a couple of days. I have to make space for the queen box to go into, so I'm going to take one of these frames out. And once the queen's released in a couple of days, I'll put it back. So that's not a particularly nice frame, but I'll move that around in here a little bit. So here's a nice frame that the bees did last year. You can see the honeycomb, and they're going to take that and build it as big as they need to. Might even be some old bees right in there, and they're going to lay eggs in there, store the pollen around the outside, and any extra space they'll put honey on the outside. There's some old dead ones from last year. Some extra wax. Gonna take her and gonna put her right on the side there. She's all ready to go. The other bees are gonna go in a moment. Then I'm going to put that box on top. And then we're going to take these bees and put them all into that box there. It's very scientific. We shake them right in there. You ready to see some bees flying? So I'm going to put them to the bottom of the box. Uncover it. Here they come. It's about 3 pounds of bees in each box. Can't get them all out, so I'm going to leave this right here. And they'll be able to smell the queen and come out of that box and go right inside there. Now for the moment, I'm just going to cover that up because they have to have a chance to get down inside the hive. And then I'll put the sugar water on, make little slits in the plastic, and this hive's going to be all ready to go. Except for one thing. You can stop it. The last thing is the bees don't know this is their new home yet, and they can get confused going to the different boxes, and sometimes that makes them fight. So I've taken some grass, and I'm going to plug up the board here, the opening, just so it's harder for them to get in and out. They can still get out the holes here and protect it, and a couple days that grass is going to dry up, and they'll just take that off of there. They'll be able to come out of that whole bottom here, out of that hole, and out of that hole right there. Okay. Let's go do the other ones. These are 2 cans out of the 4. See how this one's pretty clean, pretty full? This one's half empty. See all the white stuff on it? That's the sugar that they turned into wax, just like if they take nectar from flowers and turn it into wax. So this is a very busy hive. That's one in the end, and that's one I'm going to have to watch because they'll probably go through the food a lot faster. Maybe there's more bees in there, or they're hungry or something. Get the smoker going. Anybody remember what else we haven't done? besides put the cover on. Got to feed the bees so the sugar water is there, and I'm going to put that inside the hives in a minute. Make tiny little cuts in it, and then the bees can just kind of suck the nectar out and as they need it, and I'll fill it up if they need it again. All right, we're going to go back to the first hive I did. These guys here, I'm going to knock a few more bees in because they're all gathered together around the box. Smoke them a little bit. See how they're hanging off the cover? Right over the queen. Now I got to make room for the bag, otherwise the bees will get crushed. So I'm just smoking them. Get a few more in there. And I'm going to take the brush, get some more out of the way, put the bag on top. Take the knife, put a couple little cuts in it, tiny little pokes. What I don't want to do is have all the honey leak out in the next few hours and drain out, because that's just wasted, or the sugar water. And it won't take the bees very long to find it. This one's done. Just cover these guys up. Put the spacer on it. And that hive is done, and they're going to go to sleep pretty soon. Not really, they'll be busy eating inside there. Okay. So I don't need the smoker anymore. I'm going to put a little cork in there just to stop it. Put all the tools back, so next time I know where they're supposed to go. And I'm going to put a rock on top because sometimes it gets windy in here and we don't want the cover to blow off. And then I think we're almost done. Okay. Let's, do I have some bees on me?
Yes, you do.
So the photographer said I have bees on me, so I'm going to do what Winnie the Pooh does. You just shake, 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 gets all the bees off. And sometimes so this is the bee yard. Sometimes I have up to 10 boxes on here. This year only 4. And the reason that I like it is because it's out of the wind. You see the bushes back in here. It gets a lot of sun in the morning. And this time of year, besides skunk cabbage, those trees right there are poplar trees, and they have lots of pollen. See how they're already budding? Even though it's 3rd of April and we still have lots of white stuff on the ground. So this is what the front of the hive looks like. You can see the grass on the bottom, it's a fairly small hole. The bees are starting to explore a little bit. But tomorrow when it's sunny and 50 degrees out, they're going to really discover the neighborhood and make sure they always go to the right hive so they don't get mixed up and fight with each other. And then they're going to start collecting pollen. See the bees going in the hole? And then as soon as there's flowers out, they're going to start collecting nectar and start making honey. Then we don't have to put the sugar water in anymore. That only goes in when there's no flowers out, late in the fall or early in the spring. Hope you enjoyed this. Thank you. And don't forget, eat lots of honey. It's good for you.